Today we're going to be installing a pair of rigid D2 dualies on a 2009 Jeep JK. Let's get started. First, we're going to remove the 2 bolts on the lower A-pillar using a T40 Torx bit. Placing the rubber gasket between the mount and the lower A-pillar. Use the factory bolts. And we'll tighten these down. Now repeat this step for the other side. With both mounts installed, we're ready to install our rigid lights. Before placing your bracket into the light, you need to drop the carriage bolt that's included through the bracket. See, that will lock in place to aid with tightening this down. When we place it onto the Poison Spyder mount, the mount's going to go here, and then between that and your nut, you're going to have your flat washer and then your lock washer. To mount your light mounts, you're going to drop your M6 nylon lock nuts into the slots provided in your lights and tighten those down with an Allen wrench. Now we'll do a final adjust on these later as we aim our lights, but for now I just want to get these tight enough that they're not going to go anywhere on me. To begin, we'll just set our cable over there, set our carriage bolt through the hole in the Poison Spyder mount, and let's get that lined up where we want it. I'm going to kind of eyeball that into the middle. See if I can get our flat washer, lock washer, and yeah, that's second set of hands would probably be helpful here if you have that available to you. See if I can just get these started, and then I'll deal with positioning. Yep, I think that's just about got it going. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we'll just kind of spin that in place. Get it not quite even finger tight, and then we'll deal with our positioning. Okay. Okay, and what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm just going for about a 15-degree outward angle because I've got a 45-degree angle light. With the lights tight enough to stay in place for you, then I'm going to do a loose aiming here. We'll fine-tune this after everything's installed and it's dark. And a little heads up, guys, Rigid's instructions say that this is a 5/16 bolt. I should have known better just looking at it, but nope, it's a half. I just shifted a little bit, so let me see what I can do here. Yeah, no, it's fine. All right. So that's got our horizontal adjustment. Now we'll mount it the other side and run our wire. With our lights mounted, it's time to run the wiring. And we're going to go right through this body panel. I don't know if the camera can see it, right in here under the cowl. To do that, we'll need to remove these two T30 Torx button head bolts. So let's get a T30 and get those out. With the two T30 bolts out of the way, and we've got enough play in here to run our wiring underneath. All right, so here's the wiring harness that Rigid sends. Of course, it's still all packaged up. Let's see if I can keep it on camera here. And then we've got a, where's my screen here? Okay, we've got a 3-position switch, on, off, on, for the high, low, high, off, low setting. And here's, well, are you getting that on camera? There we go. There's what that looks like. You got 6 prongs. So let's run some cable. Here's my filthy engine bay. And we're gonna run some cable right up under that cowl and all through there. So I'll talk you through it. We're just gonna kind of get it mocked in right now and get everything run, and then we'll come back in with some wire loom and some zip ties and get everything cleaned up. So let's walk through it. Rigid includes a 15 amp fuse with this. The set together runs 34.5 watts. Okay guys, we're back, and I had a little hiccup yesterday. I very foolishly reversed the polarity as I was hooking up the wiring. And, you know, it's always the obvious things that you miss. So, needless to say, I was a little frustrated and had some difficulty troubleshooting because that was, that was a pretty obvious error. At any rate, so here's what we've done. We've gotten everything run on the inside, and I will show you that momentarily. We've got our wiring coming up through the firewall and running right around here. And it goes to light number 1, and then we come up across the firewall, and we see our fuse there along the back of the firewall. And we come over here to the battery. Boom, and there's my bird's nest. My rock lights are on a cheap little Chinese switch because that's really just a temporary setup. So excuse that. But anyway, so here we go. And then we split off across the top here, and there's our second light. And I went ahead and wrapped these Deutsch connectors just for an extra added level of safety. So that's our wiring on in the engine bay. Inside, here's what we've got. We ran the wiring inside the little kick panel over here. A lot of you are familiar with it. Comes out real easy. Up through the A-pillar panel, that just pops out after you've removed this. To remove this panel here, you really should remove your sun visor. I kind of skipped out because I'm in a little bit of a hurry today to wrap up. So I left that in place, but there is one bolt here to the left of your sun visor. That's a 13 millimeter. I pulled that, and then this pulls out. There's a little Christmas tree that goes into your sport cage right up in here. So removed this. That allowed this panel to slip out, run the wiring up through, replace everything. This is a PVC valve grommet. I think I've got a photo of that. We'll put on screen now. And then just pushed our switch through. And there we go. That's it for now. Eventually I'll have a switch system. I'm looking at a few different options there. And so this is really well, I don't want to say a short-term solution, but this is kind of a mid-term plan for me, but this will work just fine for the time being. So that's how we ran that. Easy install, looks great, and hope this helps you guys out.